sophomore year, Colin. Tell me some Ramon
All right,
stories.
so sophomore year is when Ramon and I, and then Chris and Kevin got really, really close, and we all lived together. So in our freshman dorm, we all I lived with a random person. Chris lived with random people. Ramon lived with random people, and Kevin lived with random people. We were just all on the same floor. So this is when we all lived together. Now we'll introduce you to some cast of some characters here. This is our buddy Chris. Now
which number photo is this?
This is photo number 25.
25.
And Chris, like me, is from Long Island.
If you're listening, Chris is laying in a bed, maybe passed out, maybe on the phone, and maybe
this
with
could have
his
very
hand down
well
his
been the
pants.
same night that he pissed in his closet.
Yeah.
Is that a flip phone or is
Hell yeah,
that
that's a
not
flip phone.
a flip phone?
No, that's a flip phone.
And also, can we describe his pants for a second?
They're
Velour.
They are velour sweatpants, and
I mean, the Sopranos were
magical.
hot back then.
My
he definitely
God.
was getting that
He looks
Sopranos
toasty.
vibe.
So this is just introducing you to some cast of some of the characters here. So this is our buddy Chris, and then we go, and so this next picture is 26. Now Chris had a traumatic experience in the summer of 2004 with a campfire. Do you want to tell?
Yeah, I think he was in the Outer Banks, I think, in North Carolina, and they had a beach fire going, and Chris, if anyone knows Chris, I mean he absolutely loves the beach. He's from out in the Hamptons, but anyway,
We're going to the Hamptons.
Yeah, retreat to the Hamptons. But he got involved. They were just doing like a beach fire, and he went to go put it out, and basically caught on fire. I don't know how exactly it happened.
How the hell does that happen?
I mean, I think there was like some sort of wind involved. Maybe he had fucking lighter
okay.
fluid all over him. I mean, I don't know how his back caught on fire.
Yeah, this looks pretty
but
bad.
Basically, he caught on fire. His dad had to like tackle him and like roll him around the beach, and it was pretty traumatic for him. And luckily, it didn't go to his head or like burn any of his hair off or anything like that. But like,
For listeners on the thing, it's Ramon rubbing Chris's back. Is it Chris, right?
Yeah, it's Chris.
Chris's
Lotion,
back.
rubbing
Yeah,
lotion.
and you can see the skin is gone.
So he shows up to
I could have sworn that was Colin. This is crazy.
So he shows up first day, move-in day. I remember I moved in a day earlier, and I woke up to 3 motherfuckers moving in. You had like your dad with you, and like Chris was with his parents and everything, and I of course did the scumbag move and like already like set up my bed like in the corner spot, like next, like under the cool shelf and everything. Cool shelf. But anyway, Chris shows up, and then he's just like, oh yeah, by the way, I gotta show you something. He takes his shirt off, and we're all just like, what the fuck happened to your back? And it looked like, I don't even know, like it looked like
a whole bunch of skin is missing.
yeah, like, where's all your skin? And he was like, he took it off because he was like, I need you guys to lotion my back. And we were like, lotion your back? We're not doing that. And then he's like, come on, guys, I can't do it myself. So then basically like we had to take turns. We had a rotation more or less.
How long?
It was just basically, I mean, that might have been a good few weeks.
yeah.
Before you click away, there's a lot I want to unpack about the background here. Okay. I love the Keystone Lights.
Yeah.
I love the Maxim calendar.
September 2004. I had that same calendar.
I forget who's the girl. I want to say Allie something.
I don't know.
Whatever. I love the compact PC there. The VCR hooked up there. You guys you were ready. You were fucking living high. Living high.
But yeah, we were on a pretty much a rotation, and I was kind of like, at that time, like, Kevin was like, let me get a picture of you lotioning. And I was like, dude, don't take a fucking picture. And I was like getting all like just conscious about it, like being a stupid
Being a young dumb kid, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
touch another guy's
I'm gonna jump.
And then of course that was like just like a candid shot of me doing it.
I'm gonna jump forward a couple pictures so we can go move a little quicker.
20. What was it?
So this is 30.
Okay,
This
30.
is Ramon.
I was dressed as Uncle Jesse.
Now you really look like Drake.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So this is Ramon hanging out.
What's going on with your?
Your chin.
I was dressed as
You got a white,
no,
you got a lot of white stuff
I
on your chin.
I had just contrary to what maybe that looks like.
It very much looks like Drake.
I had just taken a shot from an ice luge, and it was like, I was probably almost choking, and then they caught a shot of me with beer all in my face. But if you look at that, the way I'm dressed, you can't really see it. My shirt says Jesse and the Rippers,
Nice.
and I was dressed as Uncle Jesse for that Halloween.
So that's picture 30, and then 31 is just, so these are a couple of girls that we met that we knew.
You can barely see the girl in the back.
Yeah, these are two of our friends from college, and then this is me
You.
and
It's
Ramon.
another selfie-like shot.
Now
here if
Ramon
you're
has
listening.
his a Deftone shirt on here, and I have a 311 shirt on here, my grass shirt. that I still wear, from time to time. So that was happening, and then so so this is kind of going through sophomore year. This is another
32.
I feel like we have 8 million pictures.
Picture
of this.
32 is Chris.
Chris just knocked the fuck out.
Chris just passed out. 32A. Picture of Ramon getting
Jesse and the Ripper shirt.
Getting
Yeah,
mad at
well,
Kevin.
that was a night of. So now you can see the Jesse and the Ripper shirt. That was me coming home, probably absolutely almost blackout drunk. And Kevin is, one of our best friends, but Kevin just knows how to push anyone's buttons, I think. And he really loved pushing mine. And, if you can tell, like, that was just like, you can see the rage in my
pounce
in my
your
face. I think after that, I think I'm wrestling him or something. There's probably a shot of me wrestling him or something. I think after that.
32B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's in Kevin's.
Man.
I was on top of Kevin's bed at this point. I don't know why.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Just like for the listeners at home, imagine like the just token college guy in college room. He's in a tie-dye shirt. He's got on the background a Bob Marley one of those silk like flags, a Grateful Dead silk flag, and then Rolling Rock PBR things on the wall. Kevin, is he coming to play NHL?
Yeah, he is.
Kevin,
the next shot I think was
33.
Me passed out.
That
Luckily
night.
enough, I fell asleep in my bed there, just how disheveled it is. That's a good show, just like having broke ass sheets and but
A hodgepodge just to make it work. You have a sheet covering your window.
Yeah, I got wires hanging from the wall, and everything. But like, I was looking at that before, thinking like, man, like how the hell did I just pass out like that in my bed? Like, didn't even like get under the
So
covers.
you get in bed,
Like
take
on
your
the
pants
side.
off.
I'm about to like fall into my guitar there. And, of course, I'm pretty sure Chris drew like a penis or,
Yeah.
most.
There's a dick coming somewhere.
And it was with like green
Well, that's
marker and he
said every
drew
day,
all of my
everywhere.
face.
So that's 33. Now we're gonna jump forward to like junior year and then get into the kind of senior year as well. So this is introducing another character, which is our friend Pablo. Now,
Oh my God.
Oh, I've
He's
heard so
such
much
a
about
Pablo.
Pablo.
Now our friend Pablo is a really, really good buddy of ours. Really like gregarious, funny.
I was
fucking
expecting
kind
Pablo
dude.
to be smaller than Ramon.
I just saw him in Boston for the first time in 7.5 years. But this is us at a party. I'm wearing my Yankee, and so this is where the new Yankee hat was introduced, and I'm wearing my Dredge shirt. Now this is when I'm moving into my Dredge more cerebral moment. My more cerebral moment in college.
Definitely.
There's Ramon, and this is our friend Pablo, who's an important character in the stories.
I want to say we were at some sort of like beach
theme party,
or
which was
some
like
shit
supposed to be
that.
ironic because it's Boston, and then this is just
They
a kind
had
of
a lot of that going on in college.
this is a shot of me and my friend Abby's drinking a Bud Light in my Yankee hat. This is when I used to
What number?
This is picture, that old picture was 34 and this is picture 35.
Gotcha.
It looks like this is Ramon's eyeball. Now this is we used to hang out at this girl's house. She's a really good friend of ours. We used to hang out at her apartment. Like she had the same apartment I think for all 4 years.
But it really was a lot of weed smoking.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell by your hair. I mean, like you were smoking weed day in and day out at this point.
Yeah, your hair isn't,
mean,
your
really,
hair
I
isn't
mean,
doing the
like-
fro thing. Your hair is doing the like a longer kick out on the side thing. And
Day
then
in and day out.
it looks like you're trying to pull your life together. and just
Yeah.
pull it
I'm
off.
getting
Go
a
at the
weird
party, let
Billy
me just throw
Crystal
this dress
vibe
shirt
from
on.
this.
Fucking, meanwhile you probably had that underneath your clothes. You probably just like unraveled the rest of your clothes.
We were comic book characters. By like this point in college, everyone was a comic book character.
Pablo, for sure. I mean, if you even go back to that picture of Pablo, I mean, you've talked about you wrote a treatment back then about 80 the Fenway.
Yeah.
80 the Fenway was the apartment that I lived in with our buddy Dave and this guy Mitch and this guy Muffalo Joe and this guy Gavin.
Buffalo Joe.
This
What
guy-
is tell us the story of Muffalo
I don't know how
Joe?
deep you want to get into these.
Yeah,
these
no, I
guys' things.
can't. Yeah, I can't get too far.
I don't think Muffalo's his given name. I don't know if we're going to be able to track him down.
But everyone was a character. The one guy, we had this one roommate. I can probably say his name because who knows if he even ever existed.
Oh, Gavin.
Because he just was a guy that showed up, and I guess he lived at his girlfriend's place, and I think I saw him once. But he
had like
shared
a
a
room.
split room with Dave Smith, who was like such a ladies' man, perpetually bringing in girls, like just constantly. But like he more or less had his own room because he shared it with this mysterious dude Gavin that no one knew about.
So he separated the room with a piece of sheetrock that he went to Home Depot and bought, and then just put sheetrock in the middle of the room, and then made his own room.
But yeah, Pablo had
That
Pablo
apartment was comical.
I mean, I can get into so many great things. I mean, one of the things we were talking about last night is like, Pablo is a sous chef now. And I think at that point he had gone to culinary school, I think maybe in high school. but there were definitely times where, he would make these great dinners, but then like never clean up for like 2 months from the dinner. So like, and then one of them included him gutting a fish, and like he would just like throw the guts out the window as he was prepping it, like just throw it out the window. And then like I remember for Martin Luther King Day one year, he made like this big like soul food feast, and that didn't get cleaned up until like the middle of March. And it was like mac and cheese and like rib remnants everywhere, and like rats in the stove. It was pretty bad.
So if we move on to picture 36, this is just us at that same party.
That's Buffalo Joe, actually.
Yeah, we're gonna blur him out.
Damn
we're gonna blur everyone else out.
We're blowing all the fun out of this
Yeah, I
one.
can't be blowing off spots. Sorry.
Yeah,
about
you
that.
can't. You gotta. We don't talk to some of these people anymore. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Well, there's some people getting nasty in the back.
Yeah,
That's all I
There's
ask.
just ladies there.
No, that's the beginning of getting nasty,
Okay.
Greg.
So this is picture 37, and this is me on my 21st birthday.
Yeah.
And that's the end of getting nasty.
That's the end of everyone's 21st birthday right there.
I had you can't
On the
tell here,
ground
but I had a
in the
mohawk
in
at this
front of the
point.
toilet.
And this is at my friend Aaron's apartment. We had a great time, and I what did we do?
Was I there?
Yeah, I think
had
so.
to have
Yeah,
been.
like Mike came up from Long Island. We had a bunch of brownies and stuff like that, and then I drank and cartooned it up too much. That's picture 37. Now we're gonna move more into like the end of college. Now the picture 38 is me in a hotel.
That's you?
Yeah. Now
Why do you look like a golden girl?
Colin has the covers up to his chin and has a maniacal, out of his mind look on his face.
So no doubt we're just completely fucked up at this point. This is us in Memphis.
Yeah.
At 311 Day in 2006.
So yes, they're fucked up.
And we just had a great time. We drove from Boston down to Memphis, which is a like 30-hour drive. We just sat in the back.
Were complete, utter nonsense in the back seat because you didn't have a license. I didn't drive stick, and we were just kind of like, take us to Memphis, guys.
So that was a great trip with our friends Jay and Gus. This picture 39 is Ramon. This date's a year off here. It should be 2006, but this is Ramon as Razor Ramon for Halloween. This is
He's got the Intercontinental title on, no shirt. He's got the vest. He's got the gold chains. He's got elbow pads. He's repurposed the Uncle Jesse wig.
No, that was a new one. That was a new one specifically for that. I ended up repurposing that when I was John Oates. I ended up cutting the Razor Ramon wig to become John Oates of Hall Notes. Anyway.
So 39. Picture 40 this is a group of our friends here. This is when we were either seniors or juniors, depending on who you're talking about.
Now that photo of you, Colin, looks like you time traveled from modern day to go party with these people. That's like a Colin face. That's just how you look. Your hair is all buzz short.
So these are just our good friends here, and this was, and I was telling Ramon that I remember this party clearly. This was like one of the last ragers I had ever gone to before I left Northeastern. This was at Kevin's apartment. This was at Kevin's apartment, like his last apartment. He lived with some of our friends, and this party was like insane. I like really remember this party well.
Yeah.
And just a really good time had by all. Just a really good, nice time. This is me with my friend Chris, who's the one with the back problems or whatever that night. This is picture 41. And we were just hanging out. And then I'm going to jump forward because there's just some more party pictures. 45 is me and Ramon playing beer pong.
Again, now
who was this guy in the back? Do we remember him?
Dude.
Yeah, I remember him.
You remember him?
I remember him. Like, they were he was friends with some of those guys or whatever. And then I love this picture. This is picture 46. This is the four of us as seniors. We all met when we were freshmen, and this is all of us like when we were like.
And this
older.
is actually through all the years. This is the only pic we have of the four of us.
Yeah, like there's definitely more, but I don't know where they.
I mean, and even all these pictures, these were from, Kevin's camera and Chris's camera. I didn't have a digital camera back then, but I would take all their pictures, and then eventually all their hard drives got fried or the computers got messed up, and somehow I'm the only one now that has any of these pictures. I mean, some of these, like this one, for instance, like this is after the 2005 when people really started uploading pictures on Facebook, but before that, like there's pretty much no record of any of it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of
this.
other times that got lost because of people's hard drives going out or whatever.
This picture's awesome though. Like I love this. I love this picture because it's just you can see how much older we are here than we were when we were 18. We're 22 here.
I feel like I don't even look like that anymore.
And then this is
you don't.
picture 46A is just a classic Ramon picture.
What is
beer spilt on the floor.
Oh, I couldn't tell if he was vomiting.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
Spill on the ground. His
I think
face
he's
is
I was
there.
probably just joking around.
Yeah, I think
Dance
he
floor.
spilled the beer.
Maybe
Ramon will tell you one day about the story about when he pissed in someone's kitchen during a party. That was fun. What?
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, they were like,
just-
why are you saying that?
Tell
No. Oh no,
Oh,
that was before college.
Yeah,
that was
that's-
before I met Colin. So
Doesn't count. Got it.
So just a couple more pictures. So this is like right around when we were leaving.
42.
This is Ramon and I doing. So this is when I already had my tattoos and stuff. This is when Ramon and I were doing karaoke. We would often do Hall and Oates was kind of our joint.
yeah,
But
that was Maneater. I think we were.
But
doing.
I look like I'm singing Hatebreed here.
Yeah, you look like you are definitely in a New York hardcore band with your tattoos and your stance that you got going on.
Got stage presence, Colin. Don't
And
hide it.
and then 44 is just more of that of the same, like we're us having fun. This was like literally right before I left.
Yeah, because that was at the point when we were old enough to actually start frequenting bars.
This is at a bar called Our House that we used to hang out with. That I think I was like is near Connors. It was like a little bit step up from Connors. And then these last two pictures are when I lived with Pablo.
47.
Now this is a great picture here of Ramon. This was us split screening Mario 3 and porn. Now you can see here on the left that we're on Mario 3. This looks like World 2. And here is some outdoor porn scene that we were watching.
But yeah, hold on.
And yeah,
Is there any nudity there, or I can't
From
tell?
the side, I thought it was Donkey Kong Country, and then when you said porn, I was like, wait, what?
yeah. So this is pornographic. I can't really make it out, but I remember taking this picture because thinking this was one of the funniest things we'd ever done, because we were like obsessed with playing Mario 3, but we also wanted to watch this porn. So we were
The backstory of this apartment, though, dude, this is when you lived underneath the stairs of Pablo's apartment.
So all right. So this is an interesting story. When I graduated college. I had still lived, so I graduated in May of 2007, and I didn't leave until July of 2007. I didn't get my job offer until June of 2007. So Pablo had this great space, a really great apartment we used to congregate at after Fenway, and this was across the fens. And I moved in for $200 a month, and they had like this like hallway with like a space under a staircase or something like that, and I just put all my shit there, and then would just sleep underneath the staircase or on the couch.
You talking about boxing a room out?
Yeah. Oh my God.
This was constant.
Yeah, like it was so you couldn't even box it out. I mean, that was the thing.
Just
it was
just
insane. Because the space was literally the size of this table, and we would all sit in there like Indian style and smoke, and then like you couldn't breathe. Like you eventually had to get out of the room. Like it wasn't even fun.
Yeah, like there were times where I would come over and like I would just be going to hang out with Pablo and his roommate, not knowing you were there, and you would just come out of that room. And there'd be smoke. And you're just like, hey, what's up, guys? Like
Looking like you're coming from the
like,
fucking
yo, Colin.
future.
And then you
smoke all around you.
You would like go to the bathroom, and I think one time you just like went right back in, and you were just like, I'm fucking sleeping. Fuck, I'm not hanging out.
And this final picture before I get to a modern day picture of us is Ramon sleeping. This picture is
That's
number
probably the
48.
same night, I would say.
Yeah, it probably is. This is Ramon. And the reason I wanted to show you this picture is because our buddy Chris that we saw before used to bust Ramon's balls about this particular outfit all the time because of the vertical and horizontal stripes, which used to drive him nuts.
Rightfully so. I mean,
Horizontal polo, vertical.
like really,
stripes
what
on
am I wearing there? That's true. Yeah.
And then I just wanted to show a final picture. This is me, Ramon, and Chris at a Jets game 2 years ago. So this is us, us a little older now.
Grown ass man.
Yeah, having a great
that's
time.
pre-beard, I guess. That's before I decided to
Get crazy.
Make some good life choices.
be a man, Hogan.
Mm.
Anyway,
So that's basically
Macho Man.
I mean, that's just basically a little tour through Ramon and my relationship at Northeastern. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. There's a lot of untold stories, a lot of but basically we had a good time.
Yeah, we could tell.
I think that I don't know if you agree with this, Ramon, but I think that we were good kids, and I think that we just had a good time. We weren't doing anything wrong. We never hurt anyone. Like we never.
Except for the kid that you ran over in your car.
yeah.
Near us.
we apologize.
That was poorly put. But we had a good time. Like we never hurt anyone. We went to school. Everyone's doing well now, and we went to our classes. Everyone has great jobs now and stuff like that. But it was just a really good. I look back very fondly on those days, and we were comic book characters. But like what I realized is that everyone in college was kind of a comic book character. Like when you want to party and you want to have fun and you want to be a stoner, you want to be you want to drink, whatever, and that's what we did, and we had a good time. But we were good natured, and that was what I loved the most about it. Is like all these guys were good natured and kind dudes that we hung out with, and
we
really
liked
had
that,
each other's backs and
I
stuff
would
like that. And we really did have a good, solid group of friends. That we're still friends with today. A lot of these guys. So
yeah, I mean, I remember you saying that freshman year. You would say that your sisters were always telling you this. Like you're gonna kind of meet the friends that or a majority of your friends you're gonna meet in college, and you probably will stay with friends with him, for the rest of your life. I mean, you would hope that,
Yeah.
And I mean, it depends. It's all situational, but
Yeah,
I mean,
with the exception of a couple guys that I know from Long Island, still, like, I don't really talk to anyone from high school. I talk to a lot of people from college, so. Yeah. So anyway, that was a little tour through our friendship, and I hope it illuminated you a little bit as to where Colin comes from, and maybe where some of his own psychoses. We talk about Greg's mentally ill mind, but
It's really funny. I mean, honestly, looking at those pictures of you makes no sense to where you're at now. I would have never. I don't see that. I don't see
that's
the
just how it is,
progression.
man.
Exactly. No, and I guess
That's how it always is. You look.
Well,
back
you got to
at anybody.
remember. I mean, that picture. If you can go back to that picture, the one that really just shows your bedroom at the time.
yeah, where is it?
That really was Colin in a nutshell. Because
What
really,
number is it?
It's number 15.
his time was divided amongst playing video games and school.
and putting hats in other hats.
Yeah, that too. But he was staying up till all hours at that time. Like I said before, I was talking about, like, I remember, what was it, like, was it Sonic Heroes? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Sonic fucking heroes.
Yeah, like
God
no,
bless
but I
your
remember that
soul.
was a big deal at the time because it was just like so much work that you had to put into it. Meanwhile, you're doing college. Meanwhile, like, you got people like me on the floor being like, "Hey, you want to go smoke weed and like go hang out? You want to come to this party?" And like, meanwhile you're trying to get actual work done that would lead to you ultimately doing what you've been doing over the last, what is it, 8 years now, 8, 9 years now? Even, when was that from?
2003.
Yeah. No,
So-
it was like 12 years, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about you at IGN.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, a year before that is when I started writing for them. But yeah, it was, and this is why I think this is instructive. Is like, when you're in college, like, have fun, but find that balance. And I think that's what we all found. I think we all found that balance. I don't think that, like, none of us, the funny thing about all these pictures is you always hear about kids washing out of school or not graduating, is that the story is that all of us met that freshman year and all of us graduated, on time and like got good jobs and stuff like that. We all found that balance. We all had a good time, but we all did our schoolwork. And I really encourage people to, like, take school seriously, but don't take it too seriously where you're not having a good time too, but definitely put one foot in front of the other every day, get your work done.
Yeah.
Go to class, don't skip class or whatever. But then you can go and work and make some money, or you can go, party with your friends, whatever, and have a good time and do what you need to do. And also not you don't have to drink or smoke to have a good time. You can do that without those substances that you want. But
of course.
you often found at least amongst these group of clowns that were terrible influence on me. That it was that's some of the things we did, but. You don't have to do those things, and so I think that it was a good story of fun and also of success.
I mean, the one thing I know you mentioned this in a previous episode about, the great thing about Kevin and Chris and myself and you, we all weren't in any classes together. We just kind of formed this bond that was totally non-related to anything that we were studying. I mean, we all had our separate groups of friends, like I had the music kids, and Kevin was doing engineering, and Chris had his lacrosse and architecture dudes, and you had people from your history program and everything, that like everything was separate. And I feel like it really just shows you that sometimes you find common bonds in many places that you're not even looking.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, and that's why when I went to Northeastern before Connor Larkin's meet and greet, I was sad. And I was texting these guys. I was texting the three of them. We were all texting back and forth. I was texting them pictures and stuff. And I'm like, I'm nostalgic. I'm happy to be back here, but I'm filled with a profound sadness, because like we really will never get these days back ever again. Like we'll never be able to do this again, and walking around that place and having memories and walking in front of our dorms and seeing.
Yeah.
I remember like, where Kevin used to sit when he would smoke cigarettes in front. I remember like. Yeah. This, that, and the other thing that happened in Willis when people, Ari would knock on the door and people would be throwing their fucking beer bottles out of the window and shit like that. Like, I remember, like, all these things that were happening, and it's like, man, like, it sounded, at the time it was so scary, but it was really innocent, and it is of a place and time that you will just only be able to remember. You'll never be able to relive it, and that's why I always encourage people. I'm like, go to college and go away to college. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have anyone but each other. That was the real big thing, is like we had no one but each other. And that's why we formed this great bond with each other. And yeah, so I'm glad to give people a little glimpse in a younger Colin. I thought it would, and Ramon, of course, I thought it would give people, people would get a kick out of that, because we all come from these kind of more humble and silly roots, I think. And even though I have like this more serious demeanor on the internet sometimes, like I partied with the rest of them, you know what I mean? And had a good time with
Work
the rest
hard, Play hard.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Totally.
that's it. That's that.